was 70. I was like, me, yeah, I'm coming to.
I'm saying put it up. Shout out my label, that's me. I'm in this bitch with TB. I'm in this bitch with.
What is good? It's Katie, not your regular podcast host. If you're here on some negative energy, save that toxicity for someone else. If you're here to show some love, like and comment, subscribe if you're new here, and let's enjoy this episode of the Katie Impact Podcast. Exactly. So we have a very, very smart, brilliant boy in the episode today. Enko, how should I? Do you just want everybody to know you as Enko, or there's something else?
Oh no, Enko is fine.
Okay, so yeah, Enko, one of the smartest boys in my class, was in Pesco's. The Pesco boys, if you know him, you know him. He was in the NSM team, and yeah, I'm so happy to have him on the episode. We were having a good ass conversation last week, right? Actually, last 2 weeks.
Was it?
Because the whole of last week we didn't talk about anything.
Yeah.
So the last 2 weeks we're having a good conversation, and I was just like, hold up. Let's actually get you on the podcast and then talk in depth. So we have him here today, and I'm so happy about this episode. If you are looking for learning strategies, if you want to get back from your lazy, procrastinating self, this is the episode for you. It's going to be an exciting one, and yeah, let's get right into it. So first of all, how was your week? Tell us how your week was. We want to know what you're doing.
Since we are both in the same class.
Actually, I didn't even mention that. Okay, so the fact that I said we had a conversation in class, you should know that we're in the same class. So.
Yes, since we are both in the same class, I'm sure you share the pain of having to have so many group meetings this week.
Exactly.
Group meetings after group meetings.
Yeah.
Lectures after lectures, and I mean every person.
But you're talking as if you were attending every. Talking as if you were attending every lecture. Me personally, I'm already a criminal to my own accusation, but he's talking about some going back to class like that. Bro, tell them.
I go for some. Yeah. The ones that I know that if I don't make it, I'm going to die.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go for those ones.
Yeah.
But then the ones that I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
I go when I can, but not when I.
Yeah.
When I can, when I need to, not when I want to, when I need to.
I get it. So I want to start by saying that I've always been like a good student, right? Obviously, we're in the same class. I don't think you know me very well when it comes to academics, but I've always been a good student, right? And from primary into GHS into SHS, I've always, had to do it the easy way. I didn't have to do too much, right? Mm-hmm. But here's the case that I'm struggling a little bit in uni. Not like struggling, but obviously having to get up, get off your phone, get off your laptop, and actually study for 2-3 hours is something I'm still struggling with. So what would you have to say about that? I just want to ask you how you go about your learning.
Yeah, so and I think just today, I met someone from our class, and we had a conversation some weeks ago, and I said something.
Yeah.
What I said to her was that when people are trying to do something new, anything new you want to do, generally you're afraid of it. Right?
Exactly.
So let me give you an example. If you wanted to buy a new laptop, you wouldn't know whether you should go for a Mac or you should go for an HP, but there's still some level of fear in you because you don't know whether you have the money, or you don't know whether it's going to suit your needs. Exactly. So the element of doubt creates something about fear. So now, coming to uni, I mean, everybody knows what they're coming to do in uni. I know I'm coming to do computer engineering. And then I have this fear, computer engineering, I've heard this, I've heard that.
Yeah.
How am I coming to deal with it? But then how we respond to the thoughts is entirely our responsibility. And no one has to do with that.
Yeah.
So you come into the school, you know that things have moved from an old environment to a new environment.
Exactly.
It's two things. Either you maintain the systems you had when you were in high school, or you create new systems to adapt to the new environment.
Yeah.
And when you think about it from a logical point of view, it makes complete sense. Because let's say when you were in high school, me from high school, since I was a quiz boy, when I got to final year, no, I think when I was in second year of final year, I stopped going to class because we had the chance to be in our quiz rooms, do our own studies, have internet access, things people don't usually have. So like, if you have to go to class, it's probably a core subject or what do you call that thing? Labs, practical sessions. Those were the only reasons why we had to go to class. But then beyond that, we didn't have any reason to go to class. So we had more time to learn for the quiz and to like make us better students. And what like people just go to class, they teach, they understand, prep time, then they revise. Some people were good that way. We had people who, when we go for long backs, they will come to the school and they are done. And like they just revise. So everybody has a system of working. Exactly. My partner who I did NSMG with, for him, he always learns ahead. Then he will revise so many times and explain it to himself. And it's something I adopted from him, trying to explain to myself. So when you are learning with me, you find me talking to myself. Like I don't speak. I'm not whispering. I'm actually making noise. You can hear me talking. So when you do this, you do that.
So how do you learn in the library? Or you don't?
I don't go to the library. Like, if you've seen me at the library, it's two things. I'm downloading something or I'm watching something, but I don't go to the library to learn because
that's actually something that I used to do in JHS. Like when I was in my house, it's just easy to put the textbook on one side, write down your notes and start talking to yourself and then teaching yourself.
Exactly.
Stuff. But once I got into SHS, it was always prep time that I learned. So it became like, I think it's something that I lost because I never did it in SHS and I've not done it in uni actually. You just reminded me I used to do that. So I just wanted to say that I've never really had a specific structure for learning. One thing I'll say is that my parents were also very helpful because they are also very education centered. So then it was always like, okay, come and let me help you with past questions, answer this and let me mark it for you, this, that. So it was always like, okay, I'm just getting it done. Okay, it comes easy. I used to be the type of person that listens in class and I'm really struggling with that right now, to be very honest.
I can relate.
So, yes. So 90% of the time I was good in JHS because of the fact that I remember what the teacher used to say.
Yeah.
And that's also another disadvantage in uni because most of the time I'm really not listening to the lecturer. So now I have to come and do all the work myself. And that's a big transition for me because I didn't used to do things on my own. But I would like to add the fact that in SHS, because of the fact that my parents weren't there, it started gradually from that point where I had to start doing stuff on my own. So even when I was in SHS, I still did not have a particular structure. I used to be spontaneous. I said that in my previous episode. It was always, okay, today I'm in the mood to do physics. Grind on physics throughout the whole prep and go to bed. I can do physics like 3 times a week and I'll leave biology on the side, probably do chemistry like once. So it was just this imbalance, right? And getting out of SHS, I wouldn't say I didn't have a plan for uni, but it was never a specific plan. The plan was just, okay, I want to be a good student in uni. I want to come and kill the game. Like that's a very vague plan. You need to actually have specific steps and ways to go about things. Yeah. So how would you say you go about things? Does learning come easily to you or you had to put structures in place?
Okay, on a normal day, like when I'm with my boys, I'll come for you like
Of course. Can we talk about how you become free?
No.
When I call him my boss, he doesn't even want to agree. When he knows don't worry.
Like on a normal day, like boys, that's what we do. But
of course,
by the grace of God, I'm good. Like
actually,
I know that I'm good.
Of course.
Anything I say.
Claim it.
Oh please.
Claim it.
I mean, this is something serious. I have to take all jokes aside. Yeah. I know that I'm good. So, I mean, I know myself. I have a very good, very, very, very good photographic memory. Yeah. It's difficult to forget things I see. Yeah. So, knowing myself, I just like set times.
But before you continue, I want to ask that remembering stuff, is it also photographic memory? Just not just seeing stuff, but just remembering stuff in general. What someone said. Okay, so
what someone says is completely different from photographic memory. Photographic is based on what I see. But for what someone says, then I can also say I do have a very good memory because
memory in general. Okay.
It's very hard to forget some things. But
because I'm on that side. If someone says something, it's very hard for me to forget.
And I feel like it's not like definite that you will not forget everything, but people choose what they want to remember.
Actually.
So when you think about it, me, I when I go for lectures, or I won't use lectures, but if someone is speaking to me,
Yeah.
I can decide that what you are saying is not. I'm not taking
Irrelevant.
it. It's nonsense to me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to remember what you are saying. So
Yeah.
another time we'll be having the conversation and you realize that
You don't remember.
you said it, but then I don't remember.
Yeah.
So in general, I feel like everybody decides what they want to take in, and it's the same thing when you are learning. So we do, for example, digital systems design. You are there. You know that the course is very difficult, and then you're like, this one, there, I will not understand. But mind you, just saying that I understand doesn't mean you understand. Putting in the efforts
Also counts.
also counts. And like I said, I'm naturally good. I know that I'm good. So I use that as leverage to become better, because the goal is to be the best.
And I feel like that's what I'm not doing, because I know I'm good, but I'm not making use of it. I'm just leaning on that and okay, let me relax.
Yeah.
It's not even that deep, but now it's getting deep because I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do.
You know, as we grow, at some point, those things become very, very unreliable. We see memes every day, and like back in my day,
Shark.
I used to
Yeah.
be shark. Today I'm a tuna.
I'm really trying hard to clear my mind off of that, because when I came in level 100 especially, I used to feed off of that meme. Like I used to tell myself, you know what, now I'm a tuna. But I'm really trying to cut that off, to be honest.
When I was coming to KUST, like when I think I missed orientation, so when I heard first class was 70, I was like, I'm coming to hear this thing.
Enko. It was not even a joke. It was not a joke. Trust me. I remember I have to shout out to Inshira. Inshira was in level 400 when I came into the school, right? He graduated last year. I used to tell Inshira, I'm coming to this school. I'm coming to do what I used to do always. I'm coming to crush everybody. Bro, you don't even know what you're coming into.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we're talking about strategies.
Yeah. So like I know, for instance, I used to have a very long attention span, like very long attention span. But coming here, too many distractions. So what I do is too many distractions, and there are so many ways of studying. There are so many methods.
Yeah.
But what I use is the Pomodoro technique, where you just study for 30 minutes, take a break for 5 minutes, and come back. Now, this sounds so easy to do.
Exactly. Because I was about to ask you that. How do you tell yourself 5 minutes is the only time, bro?
So like people, if you come to our class, people who I teach, or people who study with me, I have a clock. Like I set a time. When it's 30 seconds, we'll all hear the alarm. Okay, you guys, it's time for 5 minutes break. We'll go. After 5 minutes, we are supposed to come back. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You just have to be that disciplined.
Yeah.
And that's also like another problem with people. They don't realize that change is minuscule. Like it's very small. You don't start
big boom.
It's very, 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 very small. We started from primary. We didn't get to uni the next day.
Exactly.
It's been many, many years, and we are now in university, and very soon we are going to graduate. So like when it comes to your studying pattern, you don't get up and be like, today I'm coming to lock in 2 hours. I'm going to killer.
Yeah.
It will not work.
Yeah.
If it works for you, praise the Lord. But it doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
And like I think I've said this to some people and they found it very wrong. I was like, you don't need to really have a goal, because let's look at football. When footballers are playing, the aim is two things. Either we are winning the game, or if it's a game that must be drawn, we are drawing the game. So the point is that if we play in a certain way, our end goal, our end point should be a certain way we want it.
Yeah.
So which means we don't need to focus so much on the end goal, but focus on how we play. You get it?
Yeah.
And that's what differs A students from B students and the rest. How the A student goes about his studies is different from how B or C will go, and it's totally void of like their natural abilities. Very, very void. And I also believe in the fact that we are all intelligent in our own way. Let me use myself as an example. I'm very good when it comes to like intellectual stuff, but then when it comes to creativity, tell me to draw, tell me to dance, tell me to sing, like arts related stuff. The only thing I'm artistically good at is writing poems, writing stories. That's the only thing I'm good at. But anything artistic, I am terrible at it. But then there's someone, he is very good at drawing. Like whatever he sees, he can draw it. But tell him to state Newton's first law of motion. He doesn't even know who Newton is.
Exactly.
And in that field, he seems very dumb. But then when you go to art, you can't even draw like lines and circles. You can't.
Yeah.
And that's how like people also need to assess themselves.
Yeah.
It's education goes beyond knowing what's in the book, but how much you're going to make a change when you know what's in the book.
In the book.
So like when you have people complaining so much about how their CWA, it's not this, it's not that. And me, I don't say the CWA is, but it's not really like an issue. You need to have a good CWA.
Yeah.
It speaks a lot. It speaks in the sense that it shows that you are disciplined.
Yeah.
When you needed to be in class, you were there. When you needed to take the test, you were there. You can you were able to be follow instructions.
Yeah.
That's why you have a good CWA. Not that you are very good, because you have people with good CWAs and let's ask them to write a line of code and maybe they won't be able to do it. Maybe, hypothetically speaking. But ideally, CWA is not the final say. If you have the necessary goals and you are disciplined enough, you would get good CWAs.
Yeah.
But if it's not in your natural ability to like perform that well, then it's totally understandable. But yet again, you have to look for your untapped potentials. It doesn't end with the book. So, and it's something I really, really took a long time to appreciate coming to university, because for me, it has always been the book. Like, I'm used to being first. I'm used to being part of the best. It's something I've grown up with. But then I come to uni and like
it's crazy.
I'm saying
it's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy.
At the end of second year, people are still in the 80s, people are still in the 90s. I'm like, what did you go eat? Like, how? You get it?
Yeah.
And you just wonder what they are doing that you are not doing. And like I said, it's the systems they have.
Yeah.
You will go and check. My boy like this, he doesn't go out, like he doesn't really do so much social activities. But me on the other hand,
you have a lot going on.
I have a lot going on.
Yeah.
And another thing too is that don't get so engulfed in doing so much that in the end you see that you are doing so little.
Yeah.
It's a blind spot people miss out. You have this person, he's in this church wing, he's in this social part, he's in this academic this. He's doing so much. But then when you go around and at the end of the day you sit down and you're like, let me evaluate what I've done. You see that zero work done. And that is more painful than someone who didn't do anything at all.
Real.
Because he conserved energy. He conserved energy. But everybody thought you are so busy. Like, but in the end, zero work done.
Yeah. And so I want to say something. You've mentioned discipline like 3-4 times, right? And I wanted to say that what you were saying, I was listening to a podcast like 2-3 days ago. I don't know if you've heard of Mel Robbins. I don't know. So she was basically interviewing the guy who wrote Atomic Habits, right?
James Clear.
Yeah, James Clear. And he was talking about how everybody has goals. You've also said it. Everybody has goals. Everybody comes to uni. I want to be the best. I want to come out with a first class. I want to be an A student. Everybody comes into uni with all these goals. Obviously, there are some people that just come because they are coming to uni. But almost everybody's main goal is to come out with first class, something good basically on your certificate. But what distinguishes the A students from the B or the C students? And I'll say one of the words or one of the values is discipline. So how you see discipline is just easy to say, okay, get up at 8 a.m. Okay, learn for 30 minutes and then do the 5 minutes and then come back. But how do you actually embody, as you said, the change is little by little. You can't just do boom, okay, let me study for, and you actually will sit down and study for 30 minutes. Because if you are someone who does not sit to study, it's going to be very hard for you to sit down for a whole 30 minutes without trying to fidget get your phone. Yeah, so how talk about discipline basically. I just want to ask about discipline.
Okay, so now I believe in like having role models.
Okay.
And one of the it's a very weird thing, but like my main role model or my biggest role model is my mother, because I've grown up my entire life. It's my mother who has been there for me. When it comes to discipline, I'm here to meet someone who can match my mother when it comes to discipline. Like, I'm not even joking. She's just that discipline.
Yeah.
She doesn't deviate, not even a little. There's no skewness. And now seeing a woman like that go through a lot of things in life and come out to be the way she is, I would be interested in knowing what she went through to get to that point, and discipline was one of them. So now my point is, if you have people who have made it using certain methods, and you try to employ those methods, it's not necessary. Like, you don't really need to do the exact same thing. Like, you don't. For example, there are people who sleep 8 hours. Elon Musk, I think, he said he sleeps 6 hours a day or so, works 18 hours, something like that. Like, some people are there. If you go and try that thing, you will die. You will die. Me, I sleep very few hours, but like, at some point when it becomes too much, then I just start getting headaches. So I don't really like keep that up. When you get to a point, then you just relax. Now the whole point of discipline is making an intentional decision that this is what I want. And this is how I'm going to do it. And now someone is going to be like, but then how do I make the intentional decision? You just have to make the decision. You have to make the decision. You want to see change. If you want to see change, you have to make, like, that's how it starts. So you want to become a better student. You want to start learning for longer hours. You start with 5 minutes. Okay, let me try to see if I can keep focus on 5 minutes. Then you keep reading. After some few days, you're like, oh, okay, 5 minutes, I can now be focused. Let me increase my attention span. And like that, you are growing. We're just looking at typing something right now. With the typing thing, I didn't get to where I got to like in one day. It took a very long time. And it was the consistency and discipline. Discipline and consistency go hand in hand. Because you can't, like, let's use building a house. You want the house to be done at a certain point. If you are not consistent enough, you'll be lagging. And then that lag, you need to cover it up with like more work at a certain time, which is stressful and it may be impossible. Let's use like our coursework, for example. Someone doesn't learn all semester and is part of the alumni squad like me, and then you want to use 2 weeks to complete the entire semester. Hey, like, the consistency is important, and now you've not been consistent. You've not made any decision that I want to understand what's going on. I really want to pass these exams, and then you want to use 2 weeks to finish the exams. Like, you're going to kill yourself, and people don't see how physically exhausting, mentally like exhausting it is to compress work and do it at once. You don't really feel the side effects, but like keep doing it for some time, and you see that it's not good at all. It's very, very bad. So for discipline, you just have to be intentional about your decision. I want this. I'm going to start from here. And I also feel like when it comes to discipline, you need people, like people you know that they can keep you on your toes.
But what about some of us? Like, there's some people like me, if you're listening and you know you're this type of person. I'm this type of person that is like, why can't I actually put myself together and do it? Do I always have to? You see, because growing up, I've always had my parents on me. And realizing that, you see, like, there's this self-reflection that it's like, oh, okay, so my parents were actually a very important role, played a very important role in my life. Now, how do I actually get out of that shell and do it myself? Like, I've always had my parents, and coming out of SHS, obviously, there was teachers and all that still on me, but now this is me. And it's like, I want to actually put in the effort. Sometimes I just wake up and it's like, let me just sleep one more hour. That's me. And I was saying that I really need to check my sleeping schedule. As you said, Elon Musk sleeps for like 6 hours and then does the rest of the things throughout the day. I've really told myself, like, I want to sleep for 8 hours and have the rest of the day to myself to do everything that I have to do. But sometimes you just come back and you just lie down, and before you see, 3 hours is gone. Right, and it's just like, I don't want someone to be calling me and be waking. Kate, you say you will learn, so get up. I don't know, it's just something that I don't want to do. If you get what I'm saying.
And you see, it's all boils down to what I was saying about making a decision. If you are like, you don't want people to be on you don't need help. Like, it's not like you don't need help.
That's not it.
You don't like, you want to be intrinsically like motivated to do things.
Do my own thing.
You have to stir yourself up. Personally, that's my biggest strength in life. Like, I don't need to see someone doing something before I decide to do something. I'm intrinsically motivated. Like, that's really good. It's no matter, once I see something and I'm like, I want to get really good at this, I'm just going to get good at it. I'll really work. That's just me. And that's how, like, my whole journey of becoming a quiz, where that's how it was. Intrinsic motivation. But I mean, there are times where like you're like, Charlie, let me stop and let's nature take its place. But in the end, nature and you are working together. You allow nature to take place. However it happens, you made it that way. We are responsible for our own actions. And being responsible for your actions means that you also need to be disciplined about what you're going to do.
Sure.
So if you know that you don't need people, Charlie, you have to get to the back of your mind that it's me or me.
It's me or me.
It's me or me. And
so don't worry. I want to say, you were saying when we were having the conversation before this, right? You were saying that obviously you talked about hard work and discipline and how it's you that decides that, okay, I want to do this, get this for myself, right? There are some people that the change is so long and it's so tiring basically, and then they are not ready for all that, so then they quit and then they go and look for something else to do. And how sure are they that, okay, the next thing that I'm going to do will be better for me or it's in my lane, when you were running away from something that you could have actually still achieved, right? So elaborate on that.
So like this thing I mentioned to you some days ago, that if people who drop out, there are people who drop out of school and they make it in life, and there are people who drop out and they don't. But percentage wise, people who drop out of school don't really make it. And when you think of it in this way, the reason why you were escaping from, like, why you were in school is the same reason why you are not going to make it, because we know that it's stressful being like under constant supervision, studying, doing projects, doing this and that. It's stressful, mentally organized, like it's so stressful. But then if you don't allow yourself to go through the process, you are like, whatever you are going to do,
you keep running.
As long as there's hard work involved, you're not going to make it. Like, unless it is something you actually like. And you see, it's the same thing. Your mind has to change. Like, your mind has to change. Like, okay, this thing, I want to put myself into it. Do you get it? Imagine there are people who are talented. Like, you are a very good artist. Being a natural talent doesn't mean you've made it in life. You can ask footballers. Natural talent doesn't mean you've made it in life. Like, growing up, I used to play football a lot. So, I've met so many good players, but like, they didn't put in the work. They had a chance to play for places like Right to Dream in Ghana, which has sent a lot of players abroad. But then they'll go to Right to Dream and come back to where we are. Like, no, you don't want to put in the work. You don't want to wake up and push up. You don't want to go for running. You don't want to do anything extra. And once you run away from something the first time and you are not ready to face it, you are going to still have the problem. And beyond becoming good students, it affects our everyday life. Assuming you are depressed about something, you need to face the situation head on. Let yourself know that whatever happened, it is not your fault. But you're responsible for how you feel. Even if it was your fault, you are still responsible for how you feel.
Exactly.
If I slap you right now, God forbid, in the end, you will feel, it's my fault I slapped you, you will feel pain. But whatever happens to me next is your responsibility. If you decide to retaliate, it was you. You made a decision, not me. I didn't think for you. I just initiated something. So like, people who run away from like the realities of life, they still end up going back in circles. And that's like a general problem for so many people in the world, like beyond studies. Generally, if you don't make a conscious effort of facing whatever it is that is a stumbling block, you're always going to hit that wall.
So I've always wanted to learn coding. Trust me. Trust me. I've always wanted to, and I agree already of the fact that I'm not consistent. But I also believe that I'm genuinely not interested. But I'm still ready to actually put in the work. So what would you say to people? Because I know that there's benefits as a girl in tech or as a woman in tech, right? I know coding is one of like the basic things that I need as a skill to be able to thrive in the industry or whatever, right? So now if I know the advantages, I know the end goal, and now it's just left with having to put in the work and then being consistent, what would you say to people like me? Because I genuinely do not have enough interest to wake up every day and be like, yeah, I want to code, I want to do this program. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
So concerning like coding, it also goes back to one thing. If it depends on your end goal. Me personally, I think I've said this to you before. I do not like coding either. But as a computer engineer, it's a fundamental requirement.
Exactly, that's the thing.
And for that particular reason, I have to like it. So I have to tell myself that if I don't do this, I'll not get work. And it's a mental conditioning. You need to put yourself in a point where whatever it is that you do not like, you actually have to like it. You have to develop passion for it.
Yeah.
You have to like how do I put this? Let me use footballers for example. I know football players. There are so many football players who started as defenders, and then for some strange reason they ended up as goalkeepers.
Yeah.
There are players who started as defenders, and for some strange reason they ended in midfield. A player like what's his name? Oh, why can't I remember this City player? O'Reilly. Yes, O'Reilly. The guy is, I think he's a left back.
Yeah.
But then sometimes when Pep was managing him, you see O'Reilly in the midfield, he's on the wings. Like the guy is everywhere on the field. And I don't think that's what he wants. I think maybe he wants to be at a certain part of the field and dominate there and be known as the guy who is known for this place.
Yeah.
But as he started doing that, with time, he became like used to it. And there's this saying that familiarity breeds contempt.
Okay.
Like if you are too familiar with something or someone, you are most likely not going to like it. But then familiarity also breeds what do we call it, intimacy to some extent.
Yeah.
Just imagine
Sure.
when a guy wants to get closer to a girl, the first thing he does is approach her, tries talking to her. Constantly talking to the person is enough to stay you up. And it's the same thing that happens with what we are doing. You are learning coding. You don't really like it, but then you need to, let's look at big programs, softwares like let's say Claude AI.
Okay.
What am I even thinking about? DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Open AI, like the whole Open AI, Chat GPT, like Twitter, TikTok, like those things.
Yeah.
It is code that came to make it up. So you look at an end product and you're like, wow, I would really like to do this. And it comes back to the whole problem, the process involved in going through that.
Yes, exactly.
So like you have a big problem of I don't want to suffer. But then I read a book and then he said that like if you are not willing to suffer, like imagine you want to get to the peak or the summit of a mountain, but then you are at the valley, you don't want to climb. You can't get there.
Yeah.
The suffering is what makes it nice. Like after you've gone through the pain and you have gotten it, like I made it. And for a moment you don't even remember like
the hardship. Yeah, that's how it always is.
Seriously, when I was able to make it to represent St. Peter's in NSNQ, Charlie, I don't even remember that I used not to sleep.
Yeah.
I don't remember, like, it's not that we are talking about it, but on a normal day when I was on the stage, I don't even think that, oh, I didn't get sleep, I used to do this. It wasn't in my mind because I felt like I've made it, like, I'm done. The life I've made it, actually, there's more.
Yeah.
Can you still showing us that there's more? So it always comes back to the process. If you're not willing to go through the process, it's going to be difficult. So you need to have a will. Personally, you are willing to do this. Yeah, like and I also feel like in terms of our relationships with people, like some people are there, they feel like, oh, this person, approaching a person to like just have a conversation is some way because those people, they show body or they do something that makes them unapproachable.
Yeah.
But then when you actually make the effort, you know that, oh, they are not the way you thought they were. And it's the same thing that applies to programming. The first time I actually learned programming, I did science with IT when I was in high school. So like we were exposed to those things very early. And I just said to myself that I'm never going to do this because the programming language we did in high school, we did two, Q basic and V basic. Like, hey,
what programming was that?
It's some olden days, something I don't even remember it so well.
And that's also another problem because why are we learning something from the 90s?
And if you were in high school and you did those programming languages, you feel my pain.
Yeah.
It was so confusing. Like, what am I learning?
Yeah.
But then, like when we got exposed to more things, like when we started learning HTML, we saw how web pages come to life, and we were experimenting with CSS. Like I was like, wow, okay, this is something I might be interested in. But then some programming languages are there I'm just not interested in at all. But then if it serves as a requirement, you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
For engineers like us, when we want to get into certain workspaces, in order to get there, we will have to go and take certain courses. That's why people come back to do masters. Some people are there, as we are here, we are doing our degree. There are lots of people who are like, they will never do PhD, they will never do masters.
They are done.
Charlie,
Yeah.
we will be there and you will see that this person is a lecturer, he's a CA.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what the future holds. So, like, in the future, when something becomes a necessary requirement, you're going to have to do it. And in that moment, you don't have the choice of saying, I don't like it. A lot of us didn't like science. But because we want to become engineers, we have to like science. Me, I didn't like biology. So I didn't do biology in the first place. So I saved myself. Because I didn't like biology, like, I didn't like the whole inter-science concept. So that's the paper I had between WASI. Like, I just...
For real? So you had A1 in biology itself?
I didn't do biology, I did IT.
Ah, you did? Sorry. Cause
yeah, that would have been so weird.
Yeah.
But then, that's just how it is. I just didn't like it. So I didn't even make... I can, like, those my kids boys...
biology was also my B2.
Like, they know I would never...
Inter-science, I did well. I did well in inter-science.
I will never pick a book. Never. Like, I've never opened it as science book to read.
And it's funny because, like, when I was in SHS2, as I said, I never really had a structure. I definitely picked physics textbooks more than I picked biology textbooks.
Maybe that's why you're an engineer.
Exactly. But
But then for high school, like, if a system stops working, you need to trace back what changed.
Yeah, so that's what I was even about to ask you. I was about to ask you that, transitioning from SHS into uni, what routines, what structures, what systems do you think would be better for uni? Obviously, you can't impose on someone because people... So we'll talk about the fact that experiment on what is good for you and what general routines or systems do you think work as compared to, SHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming to, for me personally, when what I used to do in uni was active recall.
Okay.
I try to remember everything. Either I write everything I read from memory out, or I say it from memory, so active recall. But then coming to uni, I realized that it's not really so much about recalling what you study. It's more about understanding the concept. So beyond remembering, I try to make sure I actually understand the concept. So let me say, the Ohm's law says that the potential difference across a conductor is directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Like, what does this mean to me as an engineer beyond stating the law? Like, what does it mean? But then in high school, I mean, I'll state the Ohm's law for you, I can state Kirchhoff's. But like, what does it mean? How do I apply it to my daily life? And that is what I've incorporated into my life. So...
But do you know that, funny enough, when I was in SHS, I feel like I rather had the time to actually understand stuff, because most of the basic stuff that I apply in uni right now, I learned it. I genuinely actually sat down to learn it in SHS. So that's also one thing, because when I'm struggling, because I'm not a bad student, right? So sometimes I'm in the B, I have some A's, but I'm struggling in the C. There are some particular, courses that you're trying your best, right? But you're still stuck in the C. And the reason why you didn't get a B is because you have some fundamentals. And so that's what's helping you to escape either a D or a trail.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm an A and a C student at the same time. And then I have like 1 or 2 B's in there, but I'm mainly a C and an A student. Because there are some courses that I would straight get an A and I don't have a problem. And there's some courses that I have to force and get a C because I'm not trying to be in the D's, or you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, based on what you're saying, it stems from the fact that you made an attempt to solidify a foundation on certain things.
Exactly.
And beyond that, you've come to a point where it is not so much about the foundation that you had. We have built upon it. So you had a first floor, now you have gone to the second floor. And a lot of people have not fully appreciated the fact that you are no longer in SHS. Like,
yes,
you are no longer there.
Maybe that's my problem.
The more you wake up to reality and I
know that, bro,
I'm no longer doing pi r squared again.
Yeah,
I'm now doing something else.
Exactly.
It's you would really come to terms to what is going on in high school. And like, even for me, I will not say I have it easy, because like I said, active recall doesn't work for me, like for certain courses, because most of the things we do in uni are literally like working to make change in the world. So, and in the world, we don't need people who can memorize. So, like, in general, I just think that anyone who is coming to the university, or anyone who is studying in the university, you need to understand that whatever you are studying is supposed to make change. So it shouldn't be so much centered on the exam, but to understand and to actually create new things. Right now, people who are going to make it in life, well, everybody's going to make it in life, but then
are you sure? Trust me, that's the delusional thing that it's not everybody that's going to make it in life. You are the one who is supposed to make a change.
Yeah, but then I believe that we can all make it in life. Don't put it that way. We can all make it in life.
But it's not everybody. Look at my fingers. Even this one is trying, but it still can't get there.
You see, making it in life is relative.
Exactly.
Some will make it more than
so everybody is comfortable with what they are.
Yeah, me, I don't want to be a billionaire. Like, I want to be normal.
But trust me, you will.
We'll be amazed.
Bro.
But then, like I'm saying, it's people who create new things that will be more relevant and not dwelling on what is existing.
Yeah.
So, but we need what's existing to know whether we can create something new. So, whatever you are studying right now, just make sure that you're applying it into your future endeavors and make sure that you are trying to make a change and not just understand a few concepts.
Exactly. Enko, I'm so happy that you came on the episode today. People watching, I'm sure you're going to get a lot from this episode. It has been very insightful. It has been very, what's the word?
Enlightening,
educational, right? And I'm so happy about the fact that we've been able to have a good conversation. In fact, we're having this conversation in class and I was like, hold on. Let me get you on a podcast so that we can have a proper conversation in depth. And he has said a lot of important things. If you want to take one, or even if you don't want to take anything from this episode, just the word discipline.
Yeah,
if you don't want to take anything, at least discipline. He has hammered on it about 3-4 times. And yeah, he has said a lot of important things regardless. I'm sure this particular episode will be very, very, very educative, very insightful for the people that will be watching. And that's that on that. Thank you so much once again for coming.
Thank you.
And with that being said, if you watched to this point, like and comment, subscribe. I don't know why you've watched to this point and you're still not subscribed. And also, if you're listening on Spotify, please give us a 5-star rating. That would be very, very much appreciated. And yeah, that's that on that. Be expecting the next episode next week, and we out. Say bye to the camera.